Okie
Hi,
dokie.
Greg. How are you?
Good. How are
Greg,
you?
Greg,
Have
what's
you
going
have
on,
you
man?
moved since I've seen you last?
Nope. Still waiting because it's like you're going to talk to Hillary again, and you had a nice shot, so don't move out of this. So
Nice to see you.
great to see you. Great to see you both, and great and exciting to see this movie. And Hillary, yeah, your character is definitely different than uh, what we've seen you in a lot.
Especially from what we talked about the last time. I
Yes,
was going to Mars the last time. This time I'm going to hell.
that's a whole different ship, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I was just saying, we've been talking about how a lot of times people thinking, oh, okay, fatal, fatal, so they think they know where they're going. No, there's no dead bunny in a pot, but there is a lot of other stuff that you are going to see. And like you said, your lady is just this tour de force. I guess that'd be the best way to put it. Or how would you describe her?
Yeah, I would say she's a tour de force. I'd say she's an alpha who, is an imperfect human being. She made a grave mistake. She was truly, remorseful for it. She tried to right it, and she wanted a second chance. She doesn't get a second chance, and it doesn't go well from there. She doesn't know what to do with that. And it's just interesting how people deal with things. And it's a ride she goes on, and that was super fun to play as an actor, for sure.
I can only imagine. It's like, hot dog, I get to do all this stuff. And Dion, you had it right there in your hands, probably going, let's add this. What else can you do? But talk a little bit about, getting Hillary, also getting Michael, and just, this whole project. How did it all come
Yeah,
about?
yeah. Obviously, we understand very quickly that this was an independent film to begin with, and Hillary was the first person that I went to for the film, and I was able to set up a meeting with her, go see her, sit down with her, and within the first couple of minutes, I fell in love with her as a person, and
Me too, with him.
I pitched the project to her, and I told her that I just thought it would be great for her to take an adventure and do something completely different. Now you have to remember, this is before The Hunt. So this is like, this is a new world for her. And I'm like, hey, and you can do this and you can do that. And I'm like, hey man, all the black people love you too. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, we just had this great kinetic conversation. And she was like, that sounds really interesting. Next thing I know, we were, on set making this film. And Ely, I went to directly after Hillary because I had worked with him on The Intruder. And I just kept thinking to myself with Ely, like, there were so many moments in that film where I wanted to explore more deeper actor moments. But, obviously it's Dennis Quaid and him, and it's a completely different film. And when I put him and Hillary in the room together, man, it was just explosive from day one. The first time they met and I seen them together, I was going, oh man, this is gonna be really, like, I remember they walked in the room together. It was the first time seeing them. And I was going, ooh, this is gonna be good. Like I just knew because it's so different. And we don't get films like that anymore. We don't get to see that caliber of actress with one of our actors. And it's like, wow, and can you put that together? And then the movie and Dante, and it just became a beautiful moment, man. It's one of my proudest films that I have today.
Oh, fantastic. I watched it with my wife, and, like a lot of times during it, all of a sudden you get this look like,
right.
Why were you going for 4 days for a one movie junket? No, wait.
Right.
But yeah, it is quite the thrill ride. And Hillary, like, most movies we always see, you see something and think, okay, I know exactly where it's going, what's going to be happening with this. This one, not so sure, which even makes it more exciting.
Thank you. I totally agree. And that's what also hooked me is, we're not only is my character this, imperfect human, they all are. Everyone, has a hurt that they're dealing with and trying to navigate through. And like you said, you're like, wait, is that person the one that I should be worried about? Or, right. Oh, wait, is it that person I should be worried about? And I think that's something that's really hard to capture. You kind of like, you see a movie and we see so much content now that we're pretty quick to say like, oh, I got it. And a lot of people think that, and then they're like, oh, I didn't have it. And I love that. Like, how rare is that anymore?
That's for sure. Hillary, Dion, both, thank you so much for your time. Great seeing you both. Have a happy new year and look forward to talking to you both again very soon.
You too.
One
Have a
time
holiday.
for Detroit, man. Detroit basketball.
Yeah! Love it. Love it.
Hey,
All right, Ken,
Ken,
how-
what's
yeah.
up, Detroit? What you doing? It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
How
So,
are you?
doing well, doing
Good.
well.
Great.
Still here in the basement as last time, but hey,
Hey, no one knows. No one knows. You got a nice setup.
thank you. Thank you. Well, like I said, great seeing before, great seeing you guys now.
Yes.
And just with watching this movie, it was so funny. My wife and I watched it. And so immediately, you're thinking, okay, it's going to be a remake of Fatal Attraction.
Right?
No,
No.
no.
Turns. I hope we didn't have y'all arguing in front of the screen. Hope we didn't bring up no.
We do. Yeah, it's kind of like, what?
Yes.
Do you do that? No.
I'm glad you said that though, because when you watch a trailer, oftentimes people just go to, oh, we've seen this before. This has been done already. And actually it hasn't. The premise is there, but the twists and turns takes you on a journey, a thrill ride, however you want to shake it out,
Oh, you got that right. Because like I said, obviously not going to say anything about what goes on, but just once you get to the end, you're just kind of going,
What happened?
oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. So it is, it's a fun thrill ride. Like you said, a screen yeller. And then also, I mean, you get Hilary Swank and Michael Ealy. Whoa.
Who could ask for anything more?
Right. Tell us
Yeah.
about that, about, getting Hillary. We'll start there first. How did she become a part of the project?
A lot of begging and pleading, a lot of convincing. In the end, I think just, really Dion really explaining the vision and how we could do this and putting her in a different model, dropping her in a different bucket, you know what I mean? And who better to do that with Michael Ealy? He's a household name in the African community, and obviously them eyes will get anybody. So we just had to show her a picture of that, and she was ready to go.
I can imagine. And when you said begging, the only thing I could think of, Berry Gordy and Motown with the Temptations. Ain't too proud to beg.
Right? Hey,
In my
listen,
movie,
you got
so
whatever you got to do to get there, right? Well, not
Right.
whatever, but
right. But we meet, yes, like you said, there's the whole story with Michael Ealy. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, going out with the boys, go on a bachelor party, things are a little weird at home, and boom, you think, okay, lie about where you live and just go home and
she got him good, didn't she?
and how?
Got him good. Hey, listen, the woman's always smarter. I'm sure you know now. So you've been married for a long time. So we can outsmart you guys at any point in time. So if you pay attention to the signs, you might win.
Yeah, married for a close to 30 years. So that's why I get my little box right here and all my little toys are right over there.
Stay in your lane.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, it's this fun and compelling ride. And as you had mentioned before, it's just one of those things where, we all like to watch movies and think, okay, I know where this is going.
Right.
This is going to be this is going to be that. But it has definitely so many different surprises where you're just going to sit there with your eyes open going, okay, I like this.
No, I mean, it's fun. It's exciting. I mean, Hillary's beautiful. She's a beast throughout the movie. I mean, I've never seen
Yeah.
her walking down the hallway, you know what I mean? All guns blazing. I mean, she is electrifying, you know what I mean? And then Michael to compliment. I mean, Tyron Turner was incredible.
Mhm.
Great role for him, for the cousin, for Michael Ealy. Mike Coulter was amazing. I mean, everybody just really brought their A game, and I was honored to be on set with them, quite frankly. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's sometimes surreal to go back and watch the film and see your name on there, like with this kind of cast involved.
Yeah.
And they took a chance on us, and I think we really we nailed it,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great to see an African-American couple, do this.
Yes.
Roxanne, thank you so much for your time. I look forward
Thank
to
you,
seeing you
Greg.
again.
Yes, see you soon. Have a great weekend.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Hey Greg, how's it going, buddy?
Good. Good to see you.
It's interesting to see you in your environment.
Right. This is my basement studio, which
Right,
has all the
right,
amenities a person could want.
right. Now I'm in the hotel.
Yes. So,
Wow.
all right. That's great. Well,
Yeah.
again, good to see you. And this
You too.
movie is, wow, it's kind of like you're thinking one thing, but it certainly does go in a whole completely different direction, wouldn't you say?
I mean, you know what's funny is when you try to tell people, they won't believe you.
Right.
I mean, because people sell movies all the time by saying it goes left. There's a twist. It's just not as it's not what you think it is. And I think once you spend about 20 minutes, you'll understand it's on a different level. It's on a different level. I'm very, very proud of this one.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, here's your guy goes to Vegas with the boys, having some issues at home, whatever. And
Yeah.
you think, okay, I can just go home. As it turns out, he should have just stayed in the room and watched ESPN highlights because it just.
You should just called it quits and stayed in Vegas, right? Yeah. Just give up the business, let it go. Yeah. No, it was. I mean, in hindsight, I'm sure there's other cats who, will probably, fall down that same trap and then be like, you know what? Based on what happened to Ely, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna stay here.
Right. Have a bachelor party and
I'm
somebody's.
never coming home. I'm never coming home again. I've ruined everything. Sorry.
And then just to see, the snowball of things that begin to happen. I mean, like we said, there's so much, so you don't want to say anything, specific, but it's just like you're going, oh, that's not funny. It can't get any worse than this.
Yes, it can. That should be the name of the movie. It can get worse.
Right.
Because that was what I felt when I read the script. I was kind of like, oh, oh. What I mean? Like it just keeps getting worse for him. And, I have never, it was part of the appeal for me to play this character whose life just unravels and is filled with so much angst because he's a control freak and he can't control what's happening to him. But being a control freak is what made him successful, right?
Right.
But now he's out of his element, and it's not something he can negotiate. It's not something that charm or leverage. He has no leverage. So it's the police. You know what I mean? It gets bigger than that, and he has a family to protect. And so if anything, she has leverage over him, and so he has to kind of move in ways that are uncomfortable. And when I watched the movie, I was watching how uncomfortable the character is. It gets tight, it gets tightly wound more and more as the movie goes, and then it just kind of explodes.
That's for sure. I mean, and Hilary Swank, I dare say, takes kind of crazy to a whole new level.
I mean, okay, so when you think Hilary Swank as a villain,
right?
Then you should know this is going to be worth watching.
Right.
Just take that. Hilary Swank is the villain. Go.
Right. And just imagine anything.
I'm watching. Hands down. I'm watching. Hilary Swank is the villain. I'm going to watch.
And there you go. There's a thing there, ladies and gentlemen, from Michael Ealy.
Yeah.
Like you said, Hilary Swank's the enemy or the bad person. Watch this. And you will watch it and you will do like my wife and I did, where she's yelling at the TV and then looking at me. And it's like,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, your wife is everybody's. I mean, I think everybody should look at their spouse a little differently after this. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, when you said you were going to the junket, in LA. How long were you there? You know what I'm saying? Like everything is going to be different after this. Everything.
Right.
More
For-
questions, more suspicions, more everything.
And more video calls.
Yeah,
Michael,
definitely more video calls. Where are you? Let me see it.
thank you so much for your time, man. And always a pleasure seeing you, and happy holidays and the best to you and yours.
You too. You too. Happy holidays. And thank you. Thank you for doing this. I'm glad you enjoyed the film. And I'll see you on the next one.
Sounds good, Michael. Take care.